Okay, good morning. We have the Lone Star Cajun podcast. We're back again. It's week, well, it's really week three. We went out of town last week and we didn't put a podcast up, but we're back on track now and we're ready to go. So today we have a few things to talk about. We've got a recap of the Oscars, which are always very exciting. I want to talk about a few games because I do a little bit of gaming. I don't know if anyone else does, but I do. And then The Bachelor. Yes, I'm a man. I'm talking about The Bachelor, and it's crazy, but I'll watch it. And then I'm going to respond to the poll I asked you guys about, which was about NFL picks or UFOs. And I was very vague on both, but I just wanted to see what you guys would say initially. And it seems the majority of you wanted to hear my NFL picks. So those are going to be my way too early picks for next season, what I think is going to happen in the season. I know it's very early and it seems impossible, but I'm going to do it. And then I have a very special announcement to make at the end. And it's regarding some new content on my personal channel that I hope each of you will tune into and check out. So this is the Lone Star Cajun podcast, and let's go. All right. So I want to start out with the Oscar recap. So I'll start by saying that I don't normally watch the Oscars. Um, it's really just a glorified fashion show. If I'm being brutally honest, and it kind of I'm like I said, I'm a big movie fan, and I mentioned that I wanted to get into acting, but like it's not really about that anymore to me. The Oscars, I mean, it's kind of just a platform to just kind of I don't know to just say random thoughts and just complain really, and it's just annoying. I mean, like it's an award show for the movies. Talk about the movies, and not to mention they've decided to go without a host, which I mean, in my opinion, I think the Golden Globe showed that Ricky Gervais killed killed it. Killed it. And he knows he's not coming back, which is why he just kind of let loose. But first of all, they need a host because they've had a host for what, 50 years, 100, however long that thing's been running, they need a host. And like I said, the content is just a platform to just complain. And if I want to hear complaining, I could go listen to Bucko on the street. But I don't want to hear complaining. I want to hear movies. And the fashion part of it, I like fashion. I get around. I know what I'm doing. But man, they wear some wild stuff on there. Wild stuff. I mean, wild. And I'm okay with that. I'm okay with the fashion aspect of it. But I'm just not okay with the complaint. So let's talk about it. Let's talk about the Oscars. Let's actually talk about the movies. So the feel was pretty good this year. You had 1917. You had The Joker. You had Parasite. You had The Irishman. You had Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. It was a good year for movies, if I'm being honest. And I didn't see all of them, but most of them I feel like I would like. I definitely saw Joker, which was phenomenal. Definitely recommend to watch it. Um, but yeah, it was a great year in terms of the field. A good field. So let's start with Best Picture. So Parasite comes out of nowhere and steals the show. I believe the first true non-English film to win Best Picture. I mean, over Joker, over 1917, over Once Upon a Time, over Irishman. Whoa! Whoa! I mean, wow, I was not ready for that. I thought Joker had it in the bag, if I'm being honest, with 1917 up right there. But Parasite, whoa. It also took home Best Original Screenplay and Best Director. I mean, it damn near swept the thing. Parasite, a Korean film. I mean, wow. Okay. You know, it makes me think like, what is the Academy really looking at for Best Picture? Because I mean, you can find some videos. There's been some questionable Best Picture wins and snubs. So what is the formula? What's the rubric? You know, I don't know, but I know that I sit at home and watch a movie and I'm like, man, that's a good movie. And I'll just go to IDMB or something and the critics are like, that's terrible. And I just don't understand. I think the critics and I think the Academy are on the same page and I don't get it. Maybe that's just me. My wheelhouse on like the critic scale is like in the 40 percentile. If it's 40% to like 60%, that's my movies. But usually, I'm not saying always, but usually 90% or above, it's like, I'm not seeing it. And I don't want to have to, think during a movie. I don't want to have to sit there and, ponder the world, the universe. I want you to give it to me. I want that exposition. That's what I'm saying. But anyway, Best Actor. Man, if this man didn't win Best Actor, I was about to be upset. Joaquin Phoenix took it home for the Joker, of course. Wow, I mean, what a legend. I don't know how many of you have seen Joker, but you need to if you haven't. His performance was otherworldly, and it's not to be compared to Heath Ledger's. It's not to be compared to even Jack Nicholson's rendition of the Joker. But he did that Joaquin. He, lost all this weight. He developed his own laugh, and I mean, he really went in, and he really deserved it. And I saw an interesting, not to get too off task, but I saw an interesting article with him talking about how, they asked him, how Heath had to get in this dark place and he locked himself in a room to get into character and this and that. And Joaquin really said that he didn't need to do any of that. He said it just kind of came natural to him and he just did it. So props to Joaquin. Next is Best Actress. Renee Zellweger, she did a biopic of Judy Garland. And I didn't see that, but good for Renee. I mean, she's kind of been on the down low for a while, and I guess she's back. So good for her. Good for her. And then Brad Pitt. Brad Pitt grabs from the Best Supporting Actor. Look at Brad. Brad's looking happy these days, man. He's got the hair flowing. He's smiling. He's trying to get back with Jennifer Aniston, or they're trying to set him up with Jennifer Aniston. And he got our Best Supporting Actor for Once Upon a Time. I have not seen Once Upon a Time, but I've heard mixed reviews, but I'm very intrigued. I'm into that kind of classic Hollywood, So we'll definitely have um, to check that one out. Um, so we'll take a quick sponsorship break, and oh, what? Okay. Oh, oh, we still have no sponsors, so we're just gonna keep trucking on. Topic number two is I want to talk to you guys about a game. Actually, um, this is I'm not sponsored by this game, so we'll just start with that. But it's a game. I play Xbox, so all you PlayStation people, I'm sorry. You're just gonna have to be offended. But I started playing this game the other day called Outer Wilds. Now this game came out in 2019, and I would call it. I would call it. Well, first of all, let me just get into my gaming habits. So, like I said, I'm an Xbox player. I'm not really a hardcore gamer. I'm not in any clans or none of that business. I'm not living in my mom's basement wearing a witch's hat, riding a broomstick, playing whatever. I just play it casually, and I usually play. I play some role playing games. I play some first person shooters. I like the Assassin's Creed franchise. Play a little Rainbow Six Siege. But this game is interesting. This game is it's Outer Wilds, and it actually won Game of the Year from a couple of outlets, and it was in a close race with some other um, outlets to win Game of the Year. And as we know, 2019 had a field. Red Dead Redemption 2, um, Call of Duty Modern Warfare, um, Assassin's Creed, Odyssey. I mean, it had a lot of great games. And this game nearly took home the prize in at least quite a few categories. And the reason I bring that up is because it's unexpected. The graphics system is similar to that of like a Fortnite. It's animated, and essentially you start out, you wake up on this planet, and you're a member of this alien species, and you discover your training as an astronaut, and basically, not to reveal too much, but you find out that there's this alien race, this other race, this ancient race, and you're trying to they've gone extinct, as it were, and you're trying to discover what exactly made them go extinct and what exactly their mission was, and it's very addicting. Recently, I got my dad onto the game, and he games as well, and he's just as addicted as I am. And it's a game of discovery. You kind of go through it, and you're trying to figure things out. There's certain challenges you have to try to get into things. There's a level of mystery, definitely, and you just sit there at a point when you're alone in space, and you're like, whoa, this is crazy. But it also kind of like awakened a sense of like discovery in myself, just playing the game. And it's funny how we do things, and it kind of lends to other things, and it's made me want to discover things about myself, and man, it's fun to discover things. Maybe that's why they have the Discovery Channel. That's a good thought. We should write that down. Yeah, I mean, it's just fun to discover things. You can walk around and you look at the ground, and there's a pencil, and you pick it up and you discover something, and you feel good about it. And that's how I felt playing this game. Um, yeah, man. you kind of go to all these different planets, and each planet has like a different theme to it, and you're trying to figure out these puzzles, and it's hard, but it's rewarding. It's like, when you go through something in your life, and like, it's going to be hard. It's not something just given to you. You got to figure it out. But when you do, oh, it feels so good. It's like you went through that, you figured it out. Yeah, man, humans like discovery. And I'll say that the game is definitely challenging, but I'll say that I think you will enjoy it. And it's funny, like I just talked about how I like movies that gives me the exposition. I don't like to discover too much, but I'm saying I like discovery, so I guess I don't line up. But, well, all right, we are going to take a short break, and we'll be back talking about The Bachelor and all that craziness. So let's take a short break. Okay, we're back. The Bachelor. American TV Gold. So this season of The Bachelor features none other than pilot Pete, aka Peter, aka looks like speaks Spanish, aka apparently loves drama and making terrible decisions. Yeah, this season has been awful of The Bachelor. I've been watching the show for a long time. Admittedly, this season has been terrible. It's off the rails. Women are just leaving at will. We've gone from like 20 women to 6 women in what feels like a week. It's nonsensical. It's just so much drama. I mean, I know it's The Bachelor. Don't look at me like, oh, it's The Bachelor. What do you expect? Well, I mean, I know there's gonna be some drama, but it's just unnecessary. If you've watched this season, you know that it's just unnecessary. It's drama to another level. I mean, it's drama turned to 11. And, I used to watch it. My mom is an avid Bachelor fan, She won't even watch it anymore because it's gotten so ridiculous. I mean, there's almost more drama than actual substance. And that's just sad. I feel like what they've done in the past is you watch The Bachelor, and, there's some drama, but it's a romantic journey. The drama is contained. There's a cage. The drama is set in a cage. And they have paradise, Bachelor in Paradise, when Bachelor ends, and they can just bottle up all their crazies that were in the cage, put them in a house on a beach in Mexico, and let them go crazy. And I feel like that was that was their drama outlet. But that is no more. There is no cage on The Bachelor. All the crazies are out, and Peter can't make a right decision to save his life. And other shows like Love Island have come over from the UK and are starting to, I feel like, gain a foothold because they've lost it. They've lost it, and I don't know how to fix it. I mean, I don't know if it's just Peter is just that bad. I don't know if this set of women is so crazy. But it's terrible. But the only good thing is you gotta love a good rumor, and there's several enticing rumors about the end game of the show that are just speculation. I don't know anything for sure. I'm just saying what I've heard is speculation. So one particular in-game plot that I heard is the boring version, which is, and I'm not going to say names because I'll just say the theory. So the theory, one of them, the boring one, is that he gets to the final 3, typical Bachelor. he gets to the fantasy suites, excuse me, and one of the contestants doesn't want to do anything, doesn't want in, and she doesn't want him doing anything with some of the other women. And she finds out that he does, and she leaves. And the theory is that his family liked this girl the best, and they are pissed at him because he let her walk because of that scenario. And at the end, right when he's gonna put the ring on somebody's finger, they come to him like, "Oh, Peter, she'll take you back if you take her back." And then he's got to think about it, and he takes her back or not. I'm not sure. But my favorite theory is at some point, and I think it would have had to have happened already. At some point, Peter got someone pregnant on the show. And they either go home or they're still there, but they're the one that he wasn't going to pick. And either way, right before he proposes, he finds out, oh, hey, Pete, by the way, one of them's got you a little pilot baby. And there you have it. He freaks out, doesn't know what to do. I hope that happens. That will make the whole season. Chris Harrison will finally be right when he says, "This is the most incredible season of The Bachelor ever." Oh, I hope that happens. That would be gold. Anyway, so that's about it for The Bachelor. We're gonna move on to my early NFL picks. Your Twitter topic poll winner. And I mentioned it before, but I'm doing a weekly poll on my Twitter at Cajun Loan. That's where you can find us. And we're doing a weekly poll, and we'll give you guys 2 topics, vague topics. And we're going to let you vote, and when everyone has the most votes at the end of the week, we'll make it onto the podcast. So this week, as I said earlier, it was a tough contest between early NFL picks and UFOs. And it seems, by a landslide, our audience picked NFL picks. So I'm going to go ahead and give you what I would consider my way too early picks for some of the major award categories and expectations of the NFL next season. So this is next season. Before I get into that specifically, I'll just do a brief Super Bowl recap. So I thought it was a great game. I thought that the 49ers defense started out firm. They started how I thought they would. I thought that the Chiefs, I felt like it took them a little bit to get into a rhythm, but once they did, they did. And the first half was, it was all right as Super Bowl first halves go. I mean, the Super Bowl halftime show, I thought J-Lo and Shakira did really good. Shakira did her whole whatever that was, if you want to call that cultural, whatever. But the second half was great, especially the ending. It was tight. It was a race to the end, and Patty Mahomes showed his real MVP cards. He's back, and he showed out. And I mean, that kid he's impressive. He's that new wave of Big 12 quarterbacks in the NFL. He's got a cannon for an arm. He's confident, and I thought he really showed out on the big stage. So good for him. Good for a nice Northeast Texas representative. So good for him. And most importantly, I thought that the commercials were finally good. I mentioned this last week. Please bring the good commercials back. and you did, and it was great. They had the one with Jason Momoa, how he takes his arms off, he takes his legs off, and he's really skinny. He's not really a big guy. Um, Trying to think of some of the other ones. There were some good ones. There were some funny commercials. Tom Brady. I mean, I'm not gonna get into that today, but yeah, I mean, trying to do his little retirement fake, whatever you think about that. But anyway, let's get into my predictions for next year. So, funny enough, we're gonna start by talking about none other than Tom Brady, and the biggest, I would think the biggest question or topic on NFL fans or analysts' mind at this point is, what is Brady gonna do? The Chargers have announced that Rivers is done. He's walking. He's out. And what's Brady going to do? Is Brady going to go to LA? Is Brady going to go to Oakland? Is Brady going to go to wherever? First of all, I don't think Brady's going to leave, and I'll tell you why in a minute. But let's get real. Who's going to give a 42, 43-year-old a contract? Come on. I mean, I understand he's Tom Brady, but he's 42 or 43. No one's going to give him millions of dollars. What are you? No. No. I mean, somebody probably will, and they must not have taken stocks class, investment class or something, because, I mean, what? I don't know. But anyway, I don't think he's leaving, and I'll tell you why. I think the Patriots are going to swing a big trade this offseason. I think that Odell Beckham obviously wants out. He thought it was going to be a good idea. He thought, oh, man, the Browns, yeah, Baker Mayfield, yeah, Baker. Baker did all those commercials. I thought that was so bad. He did all these commercials before last season. Oh, it was going to be his season, and it was just... It's the Browns, man. What do you think is going to happen? It's the Cleveland Browns. Anyway, Odell thinks he can go in there and it's going to be all great. Nope. No, it's the Browns. You can't spell Browns without ow. Because all you do is hurt their fans. And they hurt the league, really. They're embarrassing. Anyway, I think the Patriots are going to swing a big trade for Odell Beckham. I think Odell Beckham will be a Patriot. I'm not sure what New England is going to be willing to give up for that. Picks or... I don't think they have enough picks, but I think that's going to swing Brady in the direction of deciding to stay in New England. And I think he will. So let me get into, I think we'll start with the seeding, the number one seeds, I think, for next year. I think the number one seed, I'll just start with AFC since we were just talking about it. I think the number one seed is still going to be Kansas City. I think Patrick Mahomes, barring that he's still healthy, Tyreek Hill, Travis Kelce, Williams, I think they'll be the number one seed again. I think they're just going to be on high cylinders. I think there's nothing really, that anyone can quote-unquote figure out about Patrick Mahomes. He's just a gunslinger, and it's going to work more times than not, a la Brett Favre. And I think they'll come back as number one seed. I think Seattle is going to be the number one seed out of the NFC. And I'll just say that now, too. I think Russell Wilson is going to take home MVP. I think that Seattle's kind of been building up. Now they have DK Metcalf. Tyler Lockett's there as a deep threat. They have a lot of good young talent. And I think this is really going to be Seattle's year and Russell Wilson's year to be at the top. And I think Russell is going to take home the MVP trophy. And I'm proud of him. I'm a big Russell Wilson fan, representing for the short guys out there. And I see Seattle having a big year. My rookie of the year, I have as Chase Young, and I believe the Redskins are going to take him. So I'm not saying that I think the Redskins are going to have a good season by any stretch of the imagination because they're the Redskins. Again, it's like the Browns. They're the Redskins, okay? They haven't had a good season since RG broken leg. I'm sorry, RG3. I'm sorry. But I think that's not going to stop Chase Young from being a monster. He's going to get his sacks. He's so fast, physical, big, strong. I mean, he's just a monster, and I think he's gonna have a great season. My surprise lump. I think Burrow is gonna struggle, and some of you might not want to hear that, but I think Burrow will struggle for Cincinnati. I believe that he's great in the system. I believe that Cincinnati is not a good starting bed for a quarterback. They don't have enough talent. I don't know what they're going to do with A.J. Green, but I don't think they have enough talent. I think he is going to struggle. So I'll just leave that at that. And I do think that the new era of quarterbacks, so to speak, is really going to take hold. I think these, Patrick Mahomes, the Lamar Jacksons, and some of these other young guys. I think Minshew may break back onto the starting lineup, get his job back. Garoppolo is still a relatively new starter. Jacoby Brissett's a relatively new, grounded starter. I think that new era is really going to take over, and the older tier is really going to start falling. I think the Saints are going to have a down year. I think Drew Brees is going to start to fall off. I think Roethlisberger is pretty close to retiring, even though he's younger than them. I think that Brady obviously is close. I mean, what is he going to play till 50? No, he's not. Yeah, so that's basically my picks for the NFL. So that's basically it for the NFL. So now I'll get to the announcement that I spoke of. I spoke of a little bit in the intro. So I have sort of a big announcement to make. Me and my team have been pondering some ideas for my personal channel for what we're going to do. And I'm really happy to announce that on my own channel, Christian Thibodeau, on YouTube, you can, or you will be able to access that. Well, you can access it. It's on YouTube. What am I talking about? But I'm announcing my new series, Operation Go. That's Geaux, a nod to my Cajun culture. And Operation Go is going to be just a series of missions wherein I'm going to document the progress of each mission weekly. And these missions may take weeks or months, depending on what the exact mission is. But they're going to be aimed at a specific goal. And once we reach that goal, the mission is complete. And we're going to stop at nothing to reach them. And I'm going to document that weekly for you. So mission number 1 is mission 165. So that is my mission to get to 165 pounds and try to be a little bit more active, a little bit more fit. So I've got about 15 pounds to go, and I've set this goal in the horizon. And I hope you'll all join me over on my personal channel as we start that very first mission. So that is Operation Go, and let's go. So thank you for tuning in again, episode 2 of the Lone Star Cajun podcast. Hopefully soon we can maybe have a guest for you on here. And you can follow us at Cajun Lone on Twitter. You can follow us, Lone Star Cajun Podcast, on Instagram. And I will leave those 2 links below the video, I promise. And thank you for tuning in. So we'll see you next week. See you later.